All right, Joe. Here's what I want you to do. Listen to me.
I think I'm listening. Is
All right, Joe. I know all the stuff with Tara Reid's going on. Here's what you gotta do. First of all, tell me. Did you finger her?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember what I had for breakfast. I got these tattoos on my legs, and they tell me who's my wife. And 27 years ago, can't even count that high.
Come on, Joe. She's trying to bait me over here. Can't even remember 27 years ago. I remember all the allegations that I did every single time. All right, Joe. So that answers that. So here's what you gotta do. She goes on the news. You tell her to screw off. She comes to you directly. You say, I never heard the lady before. I never know who she is. Say whatever you want.
I don't. I don't know who she is.
Biden, you don't know who your wife is. Doesn't even matter. I'll bring that back up to you when you try to run against me. Here's what you do. You just say whatever you want. All right, Joe?
Thanks. I appreciate that, but I gotta say, Jack, this is the weirdest Papa John's call I've ever had. When do we get to the pizza?
And I'm Steve.
I'm Tom.
And this is Demagogue News with things you need to know about. Episode 22. Today we got Tara Reid's comeback. We got various states of opening and Las Vegas life. So, Tom, how's it going?
Pretty spring is in the air, so
Yeah,
got
spring is in
these,
the air.
Solid allergies.
Yeah, allergies. Yeah, he keeps saying it to me. I don't know. I might have to kill Tom soon.
I mean, I'm actually really glad that not going out and dating right now because
Yeah,
I'm kind
not-
of gross.
Yeah, not the greatest time. It's kind of working out, right? So, actual news, things are happening. I think that people are getting a little tired of this corona, and they're starting to do things.
Yeah,
Now things are happening, thank the Lord.
and we actually have data on that. It's actually creepy that they track our movements via cell phones. It's not like we didn't
Yeah.
know it, but at the same time, okay, like I think in Virginia, I want to say that on April 20th, it was more than half the population was staying at home, not moving. Now that number has dropped to a third of all residents of Virginia staying in.
Okay. Yeah, how do they actually know? Like 50%, okay, great. 30%? Where'd the 20% go? How do they ascertain that information?
Because they're watching your movements.
I remember reading that the UK wanted to use all cell phone GPS data to find out if you're. The UK is weird. You need licenses for everything in that country. If you don't, like TV licenses, if you don't buy TV cable service, they will come in your house and find you and fine you.
Really?
Yeah. They don't have freedoms like we got out here.
Very ironic.
That's why we left 265 years ago.
It's just ironic that that's the country of origin for 1984. Just saying.
Is it weird or is it accurate? Also, is it the UK?
Orwell was British, yeah.
No, that's fair. Some type of that British environment. Weird. Well, it's getting a little. People are getting restless. I saw this coming a minute ago.
Well,
in good old Michigan with our friend Gretchen.
yeah. So people were protesting at the state house, and I'm actually trying to find evidence of the claims of like this so-called like racism and whatnot.
Well, it's never a good. Republicans, they allow certain things. It's kind of like the left with Antifa.
Yeah.
Like they allow Antifa to go. They're the vigilantes that are fighting the good fight. So they allow it to happen. Very much the Confederates and people of the South rise again.
Yeah, you're right. The right.
I mean,
does
there
let
are
that
pictures
slide.
now. They're exhibiting their Second Amendment right, very much so. But 3 dudes with ARs, and then they have a big old Confederate flag. And it's like, come on, guys. Come on.
I don't understand how like a Confederate flag helps your case at all, especially since Michigan was a Union state. from the
Yeah,
get-go.
you're kind of really far from. Like, if this was happening in Savannah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't like necessarily agree with it, but it's more understandable than Michigan.
And the geography makes sense.
Yeah.
Than Michigan. And, they were going to storm the Capitol building. And, Yeah, Grisham, she ain't doing great. She ain't, and she's holding their guns too.
Oh no, she is.
She's
She's the one like saying, "Oh yeah, these people are like terrible racist." It's almost like giving her like an okay to tighten her grip.
also she's not relinquishing anything when it comes to lockdown rules.
Yeah.
Still, like at Walmart's, they still have non-essential goods closed off. Like, yeah, we can't buy anything, but if we need something that's not necessarily food, water, shelter, I can go to Walmart and go buy, I don't know, an end table,
Yeah.
or I can go buy a PlayStation,
Got to do some impulse spending with all this unemployment and stimulus money.
right? Not doing anything else. Yeah, and of those states that are not opening, a lot of them kind of are. Today in Indianapolis, Indiana, they've started up their phase 1 of openings with restaurants and gyms and assorted other, small businesses being able to open. I think is very interesting because they have Indiana has 20,000 cases,
Yeah.
and that's not a crazy amount. It's not a little amount. I feel like that's like the medium. It's like 20,000, but Nevada's got 5.
Yeah.
So
5,000. And hold on, let me pull up that number for us real fast. So yeah, as of 9 a.m. this morning, it was 5,500 and 259 dead.
yeah, Indiana has 20 plus. It's like 21 and change, and they're already opening now.
Yeah.
I get it. We got casinos and stuff. Yeah, maybe they have to figure things out a little longer. But why can't every other business off Las Vegas Boulevard open?
Well, there's one subtle difference: the letter next to the governor's name.
Yeah, it's not an R here in Nevada.
Yeah, Eric Holcomb, not really a big fan of shutting down.
No, and they're one of the. Who else is really opening that fast?
Georgia.
Georgia's
up
already
there.
open, or are they just starting the process
Georgia's
as well?
ramping up. Obviously, nobody's at 100% yet, but
It's going to be a while before that number gets thrown around.
Florida is another one. Governor Ron DeSantis got a lot of flack for still having spring break and whatnot, but his numbers are not bad.
No, and yeah, Florida reopened beaches, right?
Yeah, their beaches are open, and he never full on shut down the state either. Like Florida's numbers are very comparable to California's without as huge of an economic hit.
And also, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, very dense metropolitan places.
Yeah.
They're not LA County or, New York,
Mm-hmm.
but those are big, bustling cities.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, let's flip it over to New York. Their public subways, by the way, never shut down. For people saying oh yeah, we need to save lives, they never shut down their public transportation, which is an easy fucking way to spread coronavirus.
Oh, you mean the place inside underground where lots of people from
yeah,
a very vast geological and geographic area go inside one single place for multiple minutes at a time while they go from A to B?
and you're in close proximity, and there's tons of surfaces that you can touch and contract the virus. They
Also, a million people use it every single day.
So, also, they just started, and this was last week, they started sanitizing it at night. They just
started sanitizing the subways a week or two ago?
Yes.
Fuck.
Coming from the guys who are...
Cuomo!
Yeah.
Of all the things that you needed to do, the subway should have been on top with it. Where do people congregate? We gotta close parks, Starbucks, restaurants, those, yeah, people go there. Conventions conventions out. Don't walk outside. That's another one. But the subway system was not a thing.
Yeah, no, there was no
Shit.
regulation put on that. Coming from people who love regulations, and I get it. Most New Yorkers don't they rely on public transportation, but if you could think of some alternative, maybe Rona buses, I don't know.
Something else. I didn't think of. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, maybe that's why New York's got a third of all the U.S. right now.
Yeah, so that's a good example of overkill. If we flip coasts, would be California. Huntington Beach had helicopters with sirens, to basically sound off when people weren't social distancing, even though
They'd fly around and
yeah.
be we got one, and then just blast them hey.
Sirens hey, get out of here. What a good usage of taxpayer dollars.
Just put the lights on the cockroaches. Gotcha.
Which
Wow.
Shouldn't be surprising that California is the first state to borrow more federal money for unemployment benefits.
Well, yeah, that only makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
because there's tons of Californians.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I can only imagine New York can't be, so many people.
Yeah. Um, I don't. New York's probably soon to follow.
Yeah.
And now that we're on this, I guess. So the power rankings from this morning
Hey.
are. You want to take a guess at who numero uno is for state with the most?
Iowa.
Iowa's, but nah. Yeah, still New York. No surprise there.
New Jersey number 2.
Yep. So yeah, neither of those are surprising. And those two combined, like, make up about like
Yeah, it's New York, New Jersey. Then it was like, is it Michigan third?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts,
actually.
Massachusetts.
And they're late on the curve too. So
Yeah, so those 3 make up half, don't they?
like even just New York and New Jersey make up close to half. So yeah, like add in Massachusetts, that's half your cases right there. Number 4 is Illinois, and then
Chi-town, okay.
yeah, Massachusetts and Illinois are both like late to the game on
Right.
infections, and then California rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, but California went up quick, and I think that as much as we may talk shit about it, it has been very slow for the fact it's the second most populated place in the nation.
But at the same time, it's also very different from New York. Like LA is much more spread
Yeah,
out,
the LA Valley is ginormous
much more
versus
private transportation.
some little island, that's sitting in the bay.
But that being said, LA traffic used to be miserable. Then it became pretty easy to drive around. But what you're noticing in LA, which I'm even seeing it in Vegas, a lot more drivers on the road.
Like now?
Yeah, like when I've driven out, towards Vegas, it's like I've actually hit traffic, which is an odd sensation. Like people are not really going with this like stay at home thing.
Well, as long as you just stay in your car.
Yeah. But at the same, like people are saying stay at home, and a lot of citizens are like, nah, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like I'm not going to stop living my
Well,
life.
maybe they have looked up the news more than just basic media and saw like, oh, well, everyone else is doing fucking fine.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm freaking out a little too much. Bought too much toilet paper. I'll be honest. My 1,100 rolls are gonna be sitting there for a couple of years. But like, I'm gonna go to my friend's house. I mean, you can't really buy anything still, but you can't go anywhere. But like, I'm going to someone's house. Screw
Yeah,
it.
it's something.
It's something.
Social interaction, and again, the mental health aspect of this is going to be, especially when we like reopen. That'll be an interesting.
That
study.
is going to be. I think that's going to be the number one topic because it's the one thing that now of course, there's always 2 camps, right? There's always the us and the them.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are there's the Elon Musks out there that want to open the give us back our freedoms, open up the country, versus the ones that the science says yada yada yada, stay closed forever.
Yeah.
Until the vaccine in 18 months. Maybe people realize like, I'm not gonna wait for that.
Yeah.
And I get it that it's the Rona, it's terrible, but I'm not going to. And the people that may not like be able to maintain this crazy weird lifestyle, having to stay in home, how many people is it going to be that are going to be so negatively affected by this that they're going to kill themselves? It's already
don't know.
happened to
Yeah, it has.
to scores of people.
Where
are those numbers at?
employers, nurses, and maybe those will be buried.
Your favorite restaurant has died.
Yeah, I'm very depressed. Ricardo's.
I just read an
here in
article on
Vegas.
that they were it was a eulogy to
Oh,
Ricardo's.
man.
41 years.
It was the
open.
most amazing Mexican buffet. Oh man, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Brings a tear to my eye just to think about it. So that's like small business owners, like probably gonna see suicides from them. Medical staff. Like
It was one thing that's the argument for why AI is bad because people get priced out of their own jobs because now at that certain point a robot is better and cheaper than them, so
Yeah.
they can't work. What about all these people that are 48 to 68, this older generation that maybe doesn't have a massive family structure, that their work is their family structure, and they're a bit older, and now they can't work, and then their businesses that they've sweat 20 years for, they worked there 20 years, they're older in age, so they started when they were 20, they're 40, 50 years old now, and their jobs disappear. They didn't have education because they were sold on this business, and now it doesn't exist anymore. How many of those people are gonna take their own lives? Those numbers are gonna be large,
definitely.
and it's not gonna be good. As Trump said, it's not good. It's not good. I don't like the numbers.
It's bad.
70, 80, 90, 100,000. I don't know. It's not good.
So, it's like you said about like the two sides of it. It's like the herd immunity side who's like, screw it, like just get back out there. If you're at risk, stay at home, and then eventually everybody will have caught it, so that it's not really a big deal.
The much we talk shit about Sweden, that's what Sweden's doing.
Yeah,
They have the most minorest lockdown ever.
they're getting a spike now, but that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen eventually. So the other side of the argument is wait for the vaccine. Only problem, the vaccine takes forever. Like
Also, if is the word, not like, oh yeah, it's in the works, we just got to make more of it. We've been working on a vaccine for AIDS ever since 1980, whatever.
yeah.
We have 5 kind of vaccines for the flu. They work half the time. Science says it's better for you to get it than not get it. I never gotten that vaccine. I've never really gotten the flu before. If we get a number 1 vaccine for coronavirus, great. But if maybe we don't, it's totally a thing.
Yeah.
We might never have a real coronavirus vaccine.
I mean, Trump had said this year during his town hall that we should be expecting a vaccine this year, which, I mean, maybe that's true. Maybe we'll get it, but it's still going to be at the end of this year.
Yeah, so it's the 5th month of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we got another 7 to go.
Yeah, like probably see it. I think for his timeline, in October, it was supposed to be released for medical personnel.
So 5. So half a year.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this another half a year.
That's totally unsustainable.
No, I'm not doing that. No way. And businesses can't take that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, institutions can't take that. No. And that's if. That's still if. There's
Yeah,
no.
there's a bunch of, like,
there is-
nothing's set in stone.
Yeah, they're at Gilead, this big drug company, or Pfizer. They haven't said like, "Oh, we got it. We figured it out." No, that's so whack.
Yeah, it's basing your whole plan on a very untested variable here.
Yeah, it's not like it's when people get X and once we get X amount of blank that we could do things. It's if and when we get that, then no, you can't. That's crazy. And that's what our beautiful governor has decided that he wants to do, along with the Western
States Pact. Oh,
yes.
man. Softest dudes in America.
Wow.
So, yeah, Governor Sisolak, he's not the worst governor ever, but, like, holy Christ, this dude does not want to make decisions.
At least he didn't fuck up like Gretch.
Yeah, he's not Gretchen Whitmer, which I'm
Right.
very thankful for. But at the same time, he is just, like, so afraid
At
of...
least you can respect that she's holding to her guns, and that takes fucking balls to do, even if she's wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe she's gonna be known as
She
the worst
took a
governor
stance
ever.
on something.
Took a stance, stood up for something. Maybe she's an idiot. The time shall tell.
Yeah,
But-
Sisolak, he's just like, oh, well, it's actually, I'm going to leave it up to these guys.
Responsibility. I didn't want to get elected for that.
Yeah.
Great.
No,
Awesome.
That was just going to be that cool guy. I'm going to, like, reopen resort, like, cut the ribbon at Resorts World. Like, that's going to be pretty...
Yeah, me and the mayor, right?
Yeah.
That's what governors do that, right? Some shit like that. I don't know.
I'm a figurehead, man. I don't actually, like, make decisions.
They pay me for something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Vegas, a lot of the casinos are going to be required to go through policy that's written up by the Nevada Gaming Commission, which basically runs most of the casinos for policy. So it only makes sense they're going to go through that. And it's just come out that apparently casinos are only going to be allowed to have whatever their like required amount of people. What's the word that I'm thinking of?
Maximum occupancy?
Maximum occupancy. Whatever that number has been wrote down on paper, half of that is only going to be allowed. Now, I know casinos get great margins, but half?
Yeah, that's not sustainable either.
So half empty? Half empty casinos don't make any money.
Like, you have to think, like, labor costs, like air conditioning that huge space, the electricity bill from all the lights that you have going. Like,
Yeah, the AC on the Bellagio must be hilarious.
yeah, and they're running the fountains too. Like, there's just all of these things. Like, it's not sustainable.
No. Every single social distancing measure that you could probably think of, that's going to be in there. Only 3 people per table for table games. So what I see is that it's not going to be that fun.
No. I mean, you kind of go there for the energy and the experience.
You
and
play
the
craps with
atmosphere.
2 other people? No, you get 11 people
Yeah, you need you'd everybody like
screaming and
hollering.
shouting.
Yeah,
Hooting and hollering. But no, we're gonna have this, this sterile environment.
Yeah, with a screen between you and the dealer. Like, yeah, that's really personable.
Yeah, some freaky deaky. I got on my Facebook. There's this one dude. He's Mr. Las Vegas. Is ingratiated with all the people. He's at some casino. I think it's the Orleans. You said it was the South Point.
Yeah, it looks like South Point to me.
It's one of those 90s 2000s casinos, and they've put up plexiglass separators, one long curved one for the dealer and the multiple ones for everyone's seat. That is the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's just not good. Like, it's taking away Vegas's whole appeal. Like,
And then how are cocktail girls gonna work? Do they work?
I
They're in a
guess.
union. They have to work.
They'll have
There is no.
gloves and masks. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, it's real. Damn, girl, is that N95? Oof. Here's an extra 5. I cleaned it for you, just for you.
And going off another industry in Vegas, I know Oregon, I think, started doing this drive-through strip clubs.
Yeah, well, Oregon and strip clubs they have the most strip clubs per capita of anywhere in the United
That's
States.
wild. I did not know
Yes,
that.
Portland got it going on. So I think that might be more of a gimmick because people. I mean, you may not know it, but people know that Oregon is known for that. I don't think Little Darlings is going to be having strip club shows, especially when they're 19-year-olds up on stage or on the block, because the actual working girls outside will be competing with them anyways. Yeah, I don't know. Strip. Yeah, how's Treasure's going to make it out?
They won't. I mean, like, if you're afraid of physical contact, but at the same time, like, you've got a lot of people who don't really give a shit. Like, do you think a desperate dude cares?
You think the clientele of Sapphires really gives a fuck?
Yeah, like, they're very
No.
controlled individuals.
Yes, who absolutely respect all illegalities.
Yeah.
Girls there don't do anything under the table at all.
They
ever.
don't impulsively give hundreds of dollars to get teased.
No.
That's not a thing.
$7,000 for a bottle of champagne? Ring me up. Yeah, Vegas is going to be an interesting one. That and now that these things are starting to come out, how terrible the ideas are. I was also reading that Wynn and Sheldon Addison, they believe that Vegas could open by mid-May.
Well,
I would love to see mid-May.
clock is ticking.
But what the hell is that going to look like?
I'm still thinking the whole like high roller like private thing.
Which I did read a lot of that they're going to really push these, this high class clientele for these extra big extravaganza things. And well, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you're a hospitality employee, which Steven and I are,
Absolutely.
only your highest seniority people are going to come back, and that's not me and Steve.
No, we are on the bottom of that totem pole. We
Yeah.
are not the fancy people, working those amazing swing Wednesday through Sunday perfect shifts on the weekends. That's not us. But hey, we'll see. We'll see how much longer we'll be wasting our own tax dollars
Yeah.
pulling unemployment.
Vegas is it's like a corpse, man.
Well, it's still like a dying animal. It's still like it was hit by the car.
Yeah.
Now it's just still on the road dying.
Man, the roadkill of America.
The roadkill of America. I think that's just America is the roadkill of America. We're just dying on the side of the, Interstate 27.
It was self-induced, though. It's like we decided to jump out in front of the car.
No. China hit us. China.
Boy. Hey, that was a sponsor. Which, speaking of sponsors.
Hey. Who's our sponsor for today's podcast?
Alrighty then. So our first sponsor is Tesla. Give people back their fucking freedom. Truer words have never been said. Free yourself from fossil fuels and government lockdowns with Tesla's cutting-edge vehicles and Twitter account. Hop into your Tesla and drive to Texas before it becomes its own country and separates from the rest of this hellscape. Take me to the moon. Give the Rona to the stars. Hashtag Occupy Mars.
Our other sponsor for the podcast today is Rain Energy. You want to lift over 1,000 pounds like the mountain from Game of Thrones? Do you want to see smells and taste colors? Then you need to get Rain Total Body Fuel, the greatest tasting, most chock full of dubious legal Mexican supplements carrying energy drink on the market, with amazing flavors such as Carnival Candy, Manic Melon, and Gun. Unlike those Red Bull commercials, this stuff will literally make wings sprout out of your spine and lift you away to your dreams. Rain energy. Rain down on your enemies.
Fantastic. Also, President Trump probably had like 17 of those before his town hall.
So we had a town hall yesterday, and me and Tommy Buns here were going to watch it, and we didn't know we were in for a treat. It was set at the Lincoln Memorial. Very ostentatious place.
a really cool backdrop.
Yeah, great. These two people I don't know from Fox were interviewing him.
There's Brent something and other lady.
Yeah, something America, get America, returning America to work. I don't know. It's a thing on Fox, and it was a show that they do. I don't know who watches that. But it was terrible.
Yeah, it was a lot of your favorites that Trump always says for every press conference. You got here.
China.
Yeah. He of course decided to double down. This virus is from China. The travel ban, the vaccine. We've been doing, blaming the previous administration.
The greatest economy ever.
Yeah, it's like all your old favorites, and Steve and I quit. We have rage quit. It's really boring.
In this last month and a half, we've watched a lot of Trump. We're watching all these coronavirus press conferences.
I was watching him daily for the first month
for a
of the
solid
quarantine.
amount of time. We were watching him every single day. New information. Blah, 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 blah. Here's what's happening. 30 days to stop the spread. All the things. Burke, Fauci, Polovchek.
Yeah,
everything. Everybody. All the characters. So we got to hear him a lot. Hear him speak. Now he's talking from a pre-made speech that was probably written by somebody else.
Yeah,
obviously. They rarely ever write their own, and he's throwing his own little jazz here and there, and you could tell when he gets off script a little bit because his voice inflection changes. He's not reading anymore. He's talking and blah blah blah. But this. It's like he did it's like he drank rain energy.
Dude, he was coked out. Like, holy Christ.
It was uncomfortable.
It's like his energy was like permeating from the screen.
He was talking so fast. Oh my gosh, let me tell you about this. He was auctioning. He was auctioning America. He was selling out like, oh my gosh. I'm like, he's talking so fast.
Yeah.
Slow down.
So that was
what
weird.
Diet pill was he on for like 30 years that a doctor was illegally writing him scripts for?
I don't know.
Was it Adderall?
But I want it.
Right.
I mean,
he gets get a pick me up this quarantine.
He's 74 and just like
he's 74. You listen to Biden and that's how he talks the whole time. Stutter. I can't remember
versus
anything.
Trump, who's like, I'm the fucking man. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I want to fuck them all. Grab my other pussy. Oh man, it was rough. And from the get go, and I imagine a lot of other people may have watched about 7 minutes of it before they couldn't take it anymore. Not a good look.
No, it really wasn't.
Not a good look.
Trump's kind of gone off the rails a little bit. I know that George Bush had released this sort of like unifying like message, and then
George Bush.
Yeah, George Bush, like former President George W. Bush, he released like that we need to get through this together. Just like a kind of like feel good message.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then Trump goes in and is like, well, where was this nonpartisanship when impeachment was going on? Like, pick your side, bud. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, what are you on, dude? Like,
oh man.
So, yeah, Trump is like going like 165 right now. But on the other end of the spectrum, you want to know who's going like 20 on that highway? Like Joseph Biden. Man, so let's get into Reading Rainbow here.
Reading Rainbow. That's hilarious. I didn't connect the two and two.
Man, like so.
Tara Reid.
Yeah, so Tara Reid. The allegation is that in 1993, Biden forced himself upon then staffer Tara Reid, spread her legs open with his knees, and inserted his fingers into her, which is fucking disgusting.
Okay. Big allegation, right?
So it's a big allegation. And Joe was just completely quiet about it for a while.
2 days ago.
It was like, I want to say it was Thursday, he had an interview on MSNBC, and he did not do well.
No.
It's
never did it. Never even happened to have done it. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, that was 27 years ago. So he's saying like check it out in like the National Archives. I
Yeah,
don't know
pull up
why.
all my stuff from the National Archive.
I don't know why it would be there. It's kind of a weird place to.
So everything, pretty much everything that every single politician says is all stenographer down. Everything they write is all written down, and it's all kept in the National Archive. Great, go look in there. How the hell is anything that you wrote down is going to be in the Joe Biden file?
Yeah. So that, and I think a lot of the material isn't even like you can't even view it for 50 years, like after the event happens.
I know that they're trying to find out from items that are kept at the University of Delaware,
Yeah.
because, being the great senator from Delaware, and he's blocking that being opened.
That's
Oh,
pretty
well,
shady.
He doesn't want people looking up in there and in Delaware. Okay, what's up in Delaware? No one's giving a shit about this state until now.
Yeah, all eyes on Delaware all of a sudden.
Ever since George crossed the river.
So even like let's say that there is evidence, there isn't evidence. The core to the argument, and I was actually surprised that MSNBC hit him with like pretty hard questions, was so in 2018, when Dr. Ford was accusing Brett Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her, you said that women should be believed. Why isn't it
Now.
the same in this case?
What basic tenets of you did it, no I didn't, believe the woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not looking at evidence. Just on the base fact of if somebody has the gusto, the je ne sais quoi,
Mm-hmm.
to say such a terrible thing, that something so terrible happened to you, and you're gonna accuse someone of that, punitive damages, libel, defamation, slander, all these terrible things, that there should be a reason, and that reason should be investigated.
Yeah.
But now it's different.
Yeah, instead of presumed guilt, which he totally espoused for the Kavanaugh hearings,
Yeah,
It's-
guilty until proven innocent to a
also-
federal judge.
due process is sounding pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Their electoral college. It's nice when there's a foundational thing that's been created over a couple hundred years
Yeah.
to keep freedoms alive.
Really like our courts. When you actually
That
like
Eighth Amendment is great.
weigh out the evidence and what each side has to say. It's like, hold on,
Jurors of my peers.
weren't you saying believe all women? Like, give me a second here.
Yeah, the hashtag #MeToo movement has been a killer in these last couple of years, getting people. Good old Weinstein is the big whale that's
Yeah.
been taken down by that.
It's the floodgates.
But in this circumstance, they are church mice. Quiet as a church mouse. They got nothing to say about this. Melissa Milano even went to say that she knows Joe Biden very well and that he wouldn't do something like that.
Hmm.
Some nice anecdotal evidence by character witness that he's a good person. He wouldn't
And-
do that.
But I thought all women were supposed to be believed.
All
Like,
men are
that's-
pigs.
Yeah, and this
Come on,
is
Tom.
this is not the first time that this has happened. I remember that happened. Lena Dunham, quote unquote star from the HBO
Yeah,
show
that's
Girls.
going down every single day. No one cares about her anymore.
Yeah, I mean nobody cares about most famous people. But that being said, like Lena Dunham had been one of those believe all women people, and then as soon as one of the producers for that show got Me Too'd, she was like, "Oh well, I know like Murray Morgan or whatever his name was."
Not a bad. Oh well, unless it happens to you,
Yeah, unless it happens to you or somebody you know.
then fuck everybody else.
Yeah, it's just like assuming that, like, oh yeah, all people are generally good and they won't say any
Which-
lies.
In a philosophical debate sense, the word most of the time they are.
Yeah, most of the time.
The reason we have good societies because most of the time people act cordially, work together, do everything positive. But there is sometimes they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And that also includes everybody in every single social class and caste,
Yeah,
especially our politicians.
Look at the risk and reward. Like, if you risk nothing, but you can gain something from accusing somebody, like,
Great.
yeah, like that, you're kind of setting up the stage for that. And then at the same time, if you're going to espouse all these rules, and then you backtrack when it's disadvantageous to say,
To
like,
you.
yeah, like that also makes you look pretty bad.
Yeah.
And-
So, and I was just reading a Times article, the L.A. Times, not the New York Times, that maybe the Democrats should have a backup for 2020,
Ooh.
which the ticker's counting. I know the Democratic convention has been delayed to August, which may be delayed to September.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe we don't know by the time November rolls around. Who knows? No rules in this quarantine, but
It's a bad spot to be in.
yeah, they had to second guess the only candidate on the ballot as of right now,
Yep.
when everyone else has kowtowed and said, "Okay, it's you," and then you are in this, terrible situation. I don't know. Maybe Trump will just postpone the election and make him the God Emperor of America.
Do what Hungary's doing.
Yeah, it's fine. But I haven't seen anything crazy in the news, so Hungary hasn't burnt down yet.
That we know of. I mean, they could, the media could be controlled by the state, and they make sure that we only see what they want us to see.
It's funny, Elon must have said the same thing. Because
Yeah.
Elon has gone off the chain in the last couple weeks.
He's a pretty entertaining guy.
Yeah, he's apparently Elon has decided to change his life in a lot of ways during this quarantine and is going to be selling off most of his worldly possessions that's not Tesla, including all of his houses.
That's $80 million in real estate right there.
Yeah, and before anyone thinks like 80 million, how can he own? The man bought it for real estate.
Yeah.
You buy real estate, accrues in
That's a
value.
thing.
Yeah, I'm sure his accountant said, "Hey, go buy this house. It's really cheap." He owns Gene Wilder's old house.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's selling it for like $12 million. There you go. He probably
Yeah.
bought it for $5 million. Like, it's called making money.
So,
Can't blame the guy.
Yeah. Elon's also gone on the record as saying that California is fascist, and he praises Texas for reopening.
Yeah, he called California fascist on this Twitter thread, and people got all up in arms about how the media is this, that, and the other. And then he goes to say, well, don't you know who, quote-unquote, owns the media?
Dun, dun, dun.
Get a little spicy with that conversation, Elon.
Yeah, so maybe it is in his best interest to create colonies in outer space. Maybe get off of Earth for a little while.
Yeah, and not the greatest place to be sitting around. He's right all along.
Yeah.
Good old Elon.
Definitely stay tuned on his Twitter.
Yeah,
Would
his
highly
Twitter,
recommend.
hot. Invest.
Yeah.
Invest in that.
Oh, jeez. Other things to stay tuned for, by the way. So tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
So Steve and I are going to be on Facebook Live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to dispel some of the myths, talk about a little bit of the history.
Eat some Mexican food.
Yeah, have a good time. It'll be just like Brunch Bang, but, dinner.
Delicious here.
Yeah.
With Corona. Sponsored by Corona.
No doubt.
No doubt. So yeah, go on our Facebook, Demagogue News on Facebook. Give us a like. Find us on Instagram, DGNcast, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Hell yeah.